All right. Ooh. Dave, we got some heavy reverb. Oh, hold on.
There we go. All right. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Dave, can we boost their levels just a touch up here? All right, just to make it easy for the public, I'm going to go through and call roll. When I call roll, can I have each of you say your name and then here? It'll just make it easy if there's anybody out there watching to easily identify us, each board member. Start with Jim Almstead.
Got his mute on.
Jim, you'll just need
Almstead is here.
All right. Jeff Bartocci? Bartocci? All right, Jeff, I think you're muted on us here.
Press and hold your space bar and it will use your microphone temporarily.
Here?
All right. Roseanne Cohen?
Roseanne Cohen here.
Bert Gordon?
Bert Gordon here.
Daniel Moore?
Daniel Moore here.
Noel Schlagletter?
Noel Schlageter here.
Pat Schickler?
Pat Schickler here.
Paul Sugnet?
Oh, Bugner here.
All right. Debbie Drawe, our town board liaison, and Eileen Reese, our trails committee liaison, are not here tonight. So we are all here. We have 3 projects that I would like to assign to you guys tonight. The planning board is continuing or planning to continue with their public hearing on May 14th. 2 of these applications are planning board applications that will be heard before the board on that date. The 3rd project is a town board project. I am unsure what date it's going before the board, but I wanted the board to have a chance to review it. Before we get to that, was everyone able to review the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We can pass the minutes with just a simple voice A vote, or I vote.
Aye.
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 Okay, they'll be passed as written. The first application I have for you guys tonight, let me pull it up here, is 1394 and 1440 Jackson Road. It is the application known as Forest Ridge Estates. You guys previously reviewed this in 2019, both as a sketch plan in March and a preliminary final first phase in November of 2019. The project was put on hold temporarily while the applicant worked on sanitary sewer connection. The development was currently on hold while the applicant Dave, are you guys having trouble hearing me up here?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Up there.
Okay.
No, we lost.
All right, well. So this application is on the corner of Plank and Jackson Road on the northeast corner. It is, they are proposing a 72 lot subdivision. Oh, goodness. So I will bring up on the screen eventually here. I apologize, this computer is not particularly speedy.
No worries. This is the first time.
Dave, can we boost their levels up here just a little bit more? I'm having trouble hearing them.
We can't hear them very well either. They just gotta speak up.
Okay. If you can see the screen, it is the area my mouse is highlighting on the southeast corner of Plank and Jackson Road. The major changes between this version and previous versions that you've seen is they have changed sort of the road and lot layout and added a cul-de-sac. The number of lots hasn't changed, only the layout. They did this to improve gravity sewer flows, following the contours a little bit more to allow for better gravity sewer flow. They are proposing to do a pump station on the east side of the development that will service not only the development, but also some of the surrounding properties will be able to connect to sanitary sewers, and the sewers will flow to Webster.
That okay with Webster?
Yes, we have been in discussions with Webster regarding sanitary sewer capacities. That has been an issue in the past. Webster is working on sewer facility upgrades to the facilities on their side, and we do, there is a pay-in for connecting to Webster sewers. But Webster has stated that they have capacity, and I believe the developer has a letter as well from the town of Webster stating that they have capacity in the area that they're looking.
This is the one that Pat Schickler and I looked at before, right?
Yes,
Correct?
yes, it is.
Yes.
Would you two be interested in re-reviewing it?
Sure. We probably don't need to go out and walk it again, just compare the previous layout to this one.
Yeah,
One?
there's not a substantial amount of change in terms of the clearing and all that. Lot 72, originally, they had multiple different ideas about what it would be used as. From our conversations with them recently, they stated they are planning to sell it as a single-family estate lot. I believe it's in the neighborhood of about 11 to 15 acres. I'd have to get to a plan. It is 15 acres. At this time, they're planning, or they are proposing that it would just be another buildable single-family residential lot. I don't believe they've started any real exploratory work on the property. I believe it sits pretty much as it was the last time you guys walked it, yeah.
Yeah, we can do it. You have updated paperwork?
I do. I can get you larger physical copies of plans at a later date. I can come off and drop them by your homes and get you
Okay.
physical copies that are a little bit easier to review than just the PDFs.
And so when is it going to be heard before the planning board?
It's going before the planning board for their first public hearing on May 14th. So that is next Thursday. We anticipate longer than usual project review times going forward right now. Much in the same way that we're meeting over Zoom right now, the planning board is meeting over Zoom. And to be fair to the public, we have extended comment period times, and the review times are a little bit longer, just that we can have more time for the engineering firms, for staff to do review, since everyone is still working remotely or primarily remotely. So it'll go before the planning board on May 14th. They'll continue discussing it after that.
But we should have the report done by then.
You're more than welcome to. If we have it done by our June meeting, that is fine as well. I can, as soon as you have it done, I can provide it to the applicant and to the planning board, just for their review, sort of as they're going through the review. But this will be one that this is not going to be a single meeting application. This will go through several work sessions. But we
Okay.
can.
Did you say you were going to, did you say you were mailing something or dropping something out?
I can
to us?
drop off physical copies, the printed copies of the plans that are larger and easier to review. We do have additional copies. That'll be a little easier to review than trying to pull it up on your phone or a tablet, or even your computer screen.
Okay.
Doug, I have a question.
Yes?
On the cul-de-sac, what's
Yes.
the size of the smaller lots?
They are proposing them, it looks like the smallest lots are at a little over a third of an acre. This application, they are coming in, they previously came in as a 278 application. They're coming in as a 278 application here. Through their first public hearing, they were able to establish, in the sketch plan, they were able to establish lot density requirements for 278. They had a conventional plan that the planning board was comfortable with as a conventional plan to determine the number of lots. So in this submission, they're not proposing any additional lots than what they had previously proposed. It's just a different configuration that is a little easier with sewers.
Sure, okay, I can understand that. Thank you.
Doug, can you give one, when you hand out or drop off the new forms, can you include one of the lot layout of their previous design that we last reviewed?
Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can include that
Sam,
with
we
the
can
submission.
talk about this once we get the plans, and we could just,
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
this over the phone perhaps? Keep our safe distances.
Right.
All right, any more questions on this application? All right, hearing none, I'll move on to the next one. This one should also be relatively familiar. We briefly reviewed it at our March meeting, 1918 Jackson Road, Evergreen Estates. In March, we had it, we reviewed it as the sketch plan submission, which was sort of their concept phase. They have come back for preliminary final site plan approval and subdivision approval. So they are still proposing to do a 278 project, in this case, looking at 20 lots. The applicant, if you remember from our previous discussions, the applicant was proposing to do their stormwater management facilities on the town property that abuts this property. So this is the project parcel here. This number 46 here is town property. There's an existing pond here. The developer was in discussions with the town board about utilizing this existing stormwater management facility and expanding upon it as part of his application. The town board was supportive of that measure. So they are proposing as part of this application to do to direct their stormwater onto the town property here through a new pond. And as part of that, they will clean up this area, the flood overflow area of this pond, clean this pond, as well as reinstall a new outfall and pipe that leads out to the town-wide sewer system as part of that application. The number of lots hasn't changed. The lot layout is similar. They are proposing to, as part of the 278, to deed a little over, I believe, let's see, I believe it's 2 acres. Just about an acre to the neighboring property, 1920. It would be deed restricted against further development or subdivision. Any questions?
Where is this the old Christmas tree?
Yes, I believe, yes, this used to be a Christmas tree farm. As far as I know, they haven't, it hasn't been used in several years, and the owners are looking to sell.
Hey, Doug,
Yes.
something happened on my phone. It went to safe driving mode and I lost my video. So I'm going to leave, but I'll try and get back in.
Okay. So are there any board members who are interested in reviewing this application?
I would like to.
Well, I'd be happy to join with you on that.
All right, so I'll Jim A. and Paul.
I just get my trees from there.
Okay. I can also drop off plans for you guys for review as well.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right, I can't do the I can't leave the microphone on because even when I push my space bar, because I was gonna offer to do that last one with somebody, but it didn't go through.
Okay.
But that's okay, all right. Am I giving back noise right now, back feed?
Sound all right on my end.
Okay, from what I hear.
Okay.
We're good to go to the next one.
Okay. Welcome back, Noel. Noel, you're on mute. There you go. Welcome back.
This is good.
So Noel, while you were gone, we assigned 1918 Jackson Road to Jim and Paul.
Okay.
All right, then our last application for review, you guys have seen on and off. We've had it as an application on and off since 2008. That is Dr. Howitt's project on Empire Boulevard. We've seen it as several different iterations. It has been both a town board and planning board project because it spans 2 zoning districts. The front half of the property, 1211 and 1185, are within the LaSalle's Landing Development District, which is a district that is administered by the town board. And the rear of the property, 41 Wilbur Tract Road, I believe that's Woodhaven Drive, is within the R120 zoning district and is therefore under the purview of the planning board. At this time, they have proposed in the past doing apartments in the LaSalle's Landing development area and doing duplexes and triplexes within the single-family residential zoning district. At this time, they are looking to withdraw their application from the planning board for the townhomes and focus only on going before the town board for an apartment building. So they are looking now at a single 60-unit building on 1211 Empire Boulevard. It is more or less consistent with some of their previous submissions. It did change and morph a little bit between the different iterations. At one point, it was multiple buildings for the number of units. But they are planning to come back for a single 60-unit building with associated parking. As part of the application, they are looking to assist K2 Brewing in expanding their parking facilities onto Dr. Howitt's property, since K2 has had some parking issues in the past. So as part of this application, they would be making an improvement to the neighbor, or the improvement, their neighbor would be, they'd be making an improvement for their neighbor's property on their own. So the parking would be on Dr. Howitt's property, but for his neighbor, K2 Brewing.
Doug, would that be for an easement?
I am not sure the mechanism that they are going to administer the parking under. My guess is it would be an easement. But I'm not 100% sure. They may just have a private agreement, or they may just be proposing a private agreement. Let me double check. I may have it here in my.
Because I wouldn't trust a private agreement. It just becomes confusing. But anyhow, who's the last group that looked at this property within the Conservation Board?
I think Pat and I looked at it a few times.
Yeah, I know, I think, I don't know, that most of us have been out there. Paul, you've been out there. I'm trying to think, Bert, have you ever been out there?
Yes, when it was the multiple, where it was going, the road up the hill, they were gonna do
Right.
multi-stories and homes and, or, apartment
Yeah.
complexes, yeah.
So in
So now they're
2008.
just doing apartments, you
Yes,
said?
at this time, they're only looking to do apartments. As part of their agreement to just do the apartments, they are withdrawing their application before the planning board, because they have had an application before the planning board for the townhomes for, I believe, the better part of 2 years. We've had it on hold, essentially, before the planning board. It was a no action item. Or they had asked us to take no action on it and to just continue tabling it. As part of this, they will be withdrawing that application from before the planning board and submitting wholly to the town board.
So
for
this is this part will be in the LaSalle Landing?
Yes. Yes, it'll be, I believe, exclusively within the LaSalle's Landing zoning district. It looks like some of the parking may bleed over into the R120.
Right. Yeah.
But the project itself, the building itself will be in the LaSalle's Landing district. So it looks like in 2008, Jeff and Pat reviewed it. Let's see, I thought I had all the other ones in here. It might be on my. Yes, you guys reviewed it in 2008, 2013, 2014, 2016, and 2019.
Did we actually submit a report in 2019?
I believe so. So 2013 looks like it was Mark Wood, Bob Knauer, and Pat. Let me see about 2019. No, it does not look like you guys did a report in 2019.
Okay, I didn't think so.
I think 2016 was the last report.
And that was,
Jeff, Pat, and Mark Wood.
okay.
Yeah, I want to say this was one of the first reports you guys did after I was hired. It was Jeff, Pat, and Mark Wood.
Well, the one before that had Paul on with us at one time.
I think it was Bob Knauer. Bob Knauer was on with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I was back further with the first one. I wasn't on the report, I just helped out.
Were you on the 2008? It was Jeff and Pat. So, Jeff, would you like to re-review this one?
Yeah, I'll do it. Am I gonna do it with somebody or by myself?
No, I do with somebody else. Pat, if you're already doing 1394, do we have a second person who'd be willing to review it as well?
Yeah, I'd be happy to work with Jeff on it.
All right, so Jeff and Bert.
And I would say for this one, Doug, given all we really need is what their 2019 plan is.
Okay.
Versus
yes.
some of those others, it's been good to see, a previous version that this one, we'll treat this as if it's brand new. There's a whole bunch of us that have some history here, but let's look at this one. Wouldn't you agree, Jeff? We'll just look at it as a new, here it is, and we'll evaluate it on its merit.
It actually sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, because because this one is totally different than any of the other ones.
Because Doug, this one, if I remember rightly, you haven't started up the hill yet at this point, right?
No, for the most part. This is sort of right next to the Agway building and right behind what used to be All That Jazz. It's now K2 Brewing. But it's directly behind the All That Jazz, but it's before sort of Wilbur Track splits off from the emergency access road. It's well before that. So this is down pretty much right on Empire Boulevard.
Okay, yep. Yeah, so I think if you could just get copies to Jeff and I, and then we'll again, I think we'll plan to do it over the next week or two. I know yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, as I recall, it's pretty flat in that location.
Yes.
Yeah, it's flat down there. There's not much there.
Yep.
And it's not going to be obstructing the view, which was what some of the other folks were concerned about up at the top.
Yeah, there was stuff that they were building their way up that whole hillside that was really kind of crazy back with some of the original concept that had seemed to be trying to put an awful lot in there. Stuff.
And those 2 and 3 houses up on a ridge or something at one point.
The neighbors were pretty vocal about that application when it did come before the planning board, when it was going
that was
sort of up the
because
hill
of the view. It was going to knock, everybody was going to lose their view of the bay. Because they were putting like big buildings right up at the end down there.
From my understanding of the previous submissions is that the apartments were largely subsidizing the development of the townhomes because there was a lot of infrastructure improvements that were required to do the townhomes. They have provided a rendering of what the apartment complex would look like. It's largely in keeping with the sort of waterfront theme in the area.
It's probably the best.
What about the land that goes up into the Boulevard Trail in the R120?
At this point, he, as far as I know, he has no plans to develop it right now. It is zoned single-family residential. There is potential in the future for single-family residential, but at this time, I don't believe he is interested in pursuing that option. I don't know when this is going before the town board, but I can talk with Jim Costello, who handles town board projects from the planning department side, and see what date this is going before the town board.
All right, that sounds good.
Daniel, this might be a good project for you to join in for training purposes.
Okay.
All right, I'll add Daniel to it too.
Yeah, Daniel, once we kind of get the info from Doug, and get a sense of when the date is, we can kind of communicate amongst the three of us about a time to maybe get out there. We'll social distance and wear our mask and stuff, but just kind of take a look at the site. We can kind of, Jeff and I can kind of help talk you through what we do, what we're looking for, and that type of thing.
Hey, cool, back to the chairman.
So those are the applications I have for you guys to develop. Other agenda items, we haven't received any mail. I believe I forwarded you guys an email from the county regarding land use trainings that they had moved to being online. As far as I know, they don't have any right now, but I can see if they have any upcoming webinars that you guys might be interested in. Other than that, I have no new material for you guys. There is not a lot going on in town right now in terms of ongoing projects. Most sites are shut down in accordance with the New York pause order. The only two projects that have really seen any substantial work is Penfield Square on 250. They are an assisted living facility and fall under the exception. And one other site that was putting up a retaining wall because they were worried about it collapsing in the meantime if it wasn't structured. Other than that, everything else in town is pretty much shut down. So that is.
You indicated that you were going to be dropping these documents off to our teams?
Yes. I need to get everything compiled together, so it might take me a day or so, but I'll let you guys know. I think I have everyone's contact information. I'll just let you know when I'm coming by. I'll just drop them off on your porch. Contactless drop off. But I'll have our usual application materials. I'll include the previous Conservation Board reports on the applications with previous Conservation Board reports. And I'll include a full-size set of maps, especially for the subdivisions. They'll be a little bit more difficult to see on a smaller piece of paper or on a laptop or that. So for those, I'll get you guys at least full-size sets of plans to review. This application, 1211 Empire Boulevard, may be a little easier to review on an 11 by 17 format, so I'll try to get you an 11 by 17, if not a full-size set of plans.
That sounds good.
And Doug, you said you would give us a copy for Zan and I of the last layout for the section 278.
Yep, for 1394 and 1440 Jackson Road, I'll give you the lot layout from, I believe the previous submission was either September, or October of 2019. I will include a copy of those plans as well.
A lifetime ago.
It certainly feels like it right now, doesn't it? That's all I have. Jim, do you have anything?
I just want to thank everybody for doing the best we could all do, I think, under the circumstances. And if we had any public watching tonight, we apologize for any rough spots that we might have encountered, but this was our first attempt to meet in this manner. So I know that's been true for a lot of different activities around town.
Well put. All right.
So as far as I'm concerned, unless there are other board members that want to bring up other items, I think we're getting ready to adjourn. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Seconded.
So moved by Noel, seconded by Bert.
Moved by everybody.
I think we can adjourn the meeting.
Thanks, y'all.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.